What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a great day as always. Today we're going to be getting my Grand Cherokee ready for a big off-road trip to Rausch Creek in Pennsylvania. So as you guys know, if you've been watching the channel pretty much at all, we take the Wrangler up to Rausch Creek all the time and do a bunch of fun, difficult trails. Well, it's time to change it up. This time we're going to be taking my Grand Cherokee, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know about it, but if you're new to the channel and you don't, it's a 2001 Jeep Grand Cherokee, 6.5-inch Iron Rock Off-Road Rock Link Pro long arm kit, 35-inch Radar Renegade R7 tires, and some Pro Comp simulated bead locks on there. Besides that, it's all stock. So we have a few things to address before we head up to Pennsylvania. We have to fix the sides coil retainer because, as you can see, it is now just sitting in the bottom of this, no longer attached to the top. Have a few ideas on how we'll do that. We're not going to tackle that issue today just because I don't really feel like it, to be completely honest. There's some other stuff we have to do. But as you guys can see, I went ahead and already put the 35s back on this Jeep. I actually just finished doing that, as you can tell. If you guys saw my last video when we got pulled over, these tires were on this Jeep instead of the 40s so we could pass inspection. Now, I am super excited for this because I've never taken any Jeep to Rausch besides my Wrangler, and the Wrangler's super overbuilt. It kind of does all the trails we usually do with pretty much no issue. It's got lockers front and rear on a switch because it's the ARB air lockers. Pretty beefy axles, at least the rear. The front's fully built. It kind of just does whatever I want it to whenever I want it to. We don't do like some of the buggy trails and stuff like that, but for the trails we do and me and my friends go on, it's pretty much overbuilt for. So I'm excited to take the Grand Cherokee up there. It'll be kind of like a whole new experience wheeling that opposed to that, because that one's pretty easy to off-road. This one takes some driving skills, and I'm going to be honest with you, my driving skills have probably gone downhill after driving this, just because as soon as you flip the switch and turn the lockers on, it's just so easy to drive. That one, not so much. We're going to actually have to drive it. I have no lockers. I have 35s. Ground clearance we're actually pretty good with. Only issue being is we have a Dana 30 front, Dana 35 rear. So I'm a little bit worried about those axles finally giving out on the trails in Pennsylvania. Now here's the good news. We're not driving it to Pennsylvania, and we're not driving it back from Pennsylvania. We're going to have Austin, and I'm sure you guys know him if you watch the channel. He has that V8 YJ. We're going to put it on his trailer and just tow it up to Pennsylvania. So the Jeep literally just has to survive Rausch Creek. Honestly, if it doesn't, we'll tow it out of the woods and load it up on the trailer and be done with it for a little while until the 1-tons are done. Maybe we'll swap the Wrangler axles under there for a little bit so that way we can make those videos, still use the Jeep in the meantime. But it just has to survive Rausch. We don't have to drive it there. We don't have to drive it back. This will also be my first time trailering a Jeep to Rausch. Usually I drive that from my house 3.5 hours up to Pennsylvania, wheel it all day, and drive it 3.5 hours home, which is kind of, scary because if you break it, you've got some issues and you're probably not going to get home that night, which really sucks. This will be my first time trailering it. I just have to keep in mind we're on small axles. We don't have lockers. It's going to be such a weird mindset change going from this to that, just because it's definitely more possible to break that one than it would be this on the trails. Now, I already have a bunch of trails in my head that I want to hit. Some trails we've done with the Wrangler when it wasn't on these axles that were really difficult, but they were also really fun. And that's kind of the best part about off-roading is you're going down difficult trails that you have to be a good driver on. There's some crazy steep hill climbs, all that kind of fun stuff, some big boulder areas. We're going to avoid the mud just because we have a ton of mud here to go through if we want to. So we might as well maximize our opportunity in Pennsylvania and hit the rocks and the hills and all that fun stuff. I'll go ahead right now and insert some clips of this Jeep doing the hills and trails that I want to do in that Jeep so you guys kind of get an idea of what you can expect.
Why are you coming? No. You have to stay in that route. You're not gonna hit that. You gotta give it gas up here too. It's all dirt. Keep it steady gas.
Yeah, give it some gas. Keep it straight. Straight.
Why are you trying to climb it?
Steady.
Keep going. You have to keep steady gas.
Keep going. You can hit the right now.
Driver.
Pop it.
Go.
Keep going. Yeah, go. Now back wheel. Oh! Front and rear or just rear?
Front and rear.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Oh yeah, dude. Doesn't have to hit anything and just.
Standard or automatic?
Oh, it's automatic, sadly.
We also have some really fun things that I'm thinking about doing, we're planning on doing, but I can't reveal that to you yet. You're just gonna stay tuned and you're gonna have to watch it to see what we do. But let's just say these are gonna be some crazy and some really fun videos. This will also be my first time taking any Jeep off-road that is not my Wrangler. We'll be taking the Grand Cherokee. I've taken the black Grand Cherokee off-road a few times. We're taking this off-road at Austin's house, which you guys have seen a ton of videos of. But honestly, that's just super easy stuff. At least for me now, with going to Rausch and that thing, it's just pretty easy to do in that. So I'm really excited to get this on some difficult trails. Finally see what this thing's capable of. Give those Renegade R7s a real test on the rocks. Fully test out that long arm kit. I'm super excited to see that. Before we go though, we are gonna have to fix that front coil retainer. Get some coil retainers for the rear. We might just make those, I'm not really sure. And a few other things I had to address, like the angles of the suspension. We gotta do a little bit of adjustments there. It's not really set up too well. It's good enough to get 15 minutes down the road, but it is not set up perfectly. Double check the drive shafts, make sure all our joints are good. We got to check all the fluids, make sure everything's good there. Last thing I want this thing to do is give out in Pennsylvania. Fortunately though, Austin's Jeep has given out many times in Pennsylvania, so I feel a little less bad if he's going to be the one pulling me out, helping me get out of the woods for once, opposed to me helping him get out of the woods and load it up on the trailer. It'll be a cool change of events, honestly, because we've pulled him out a ton. His V8 YJ has given out a few times on the trails, we'll say. Also, before we wrap up this video, I was curious, would you guys like to see a full garage tour? So we'll basically go over all the Jeeps I have, the Wrangler, the Grand Cherokee, the old Grand Cherokee, and kind of just go sort of like a build walk around of all the Jeeps that I have in my garage, all the Jeeps that I own, and what you'll see videos on. If you guys would like to see that, go ahead and comment down below. We can obviously make that happen. That's a pretty simple video to film. And we can do it right here, so it's pretty easy. We can probably knock that out tomorrow and get it up in the next day. But I'm sure, as you guys know, I have my work cut out for me getting this Jeep ready to go to Pennsylvania. So that basically wraps up this video. I just want to give you guys a quick update on some big plans we have coming up. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.